We are in Lisbon, Portugal, and we are here to find out what happened to the hidden Jews of Portugal. These are Jews that were forced to convert by the Catholic Church and suffered from the Inquisition. We are here, Marcelo Guimarães from Brazil, Joseph Shulam from Jerusalem, Victor Esconiard from Jerusalem, and Abilio from Paris. He's a Portuguese living in Paris right now. We are going to try to find out what's happening with these Jews that were forced to convert and have lost their identity on top of the surface, but kept it in secret, in the basements.
מי שברך את אבותינו אברהם, יצחק ויעקב יברך את האנוסים ואת הקורבנות, שיברך אותם ואת ילדיהם ואת אילן היוחסין שלהם עד היום הזה, להביא ברכה ואמונה לדור החדש של פורטוגל. מי שברך על פורסדה אנה, תיק מספר 1166. מי שברך את אנטונס.
We are now reading the names of 25 Jews that were burned on the same day right here in the Plaza of Rosio in Lisbon. They were burned because they kept some Jewish custom and they did some Jewish holiday. That's their names. And we are reading them and praying for each one and blessing them in memory.
Amen.
Amen.
I want you to pay attention how many of those people were the same family. There are 3 or 4 families here in which they lost 2, mother and father, sometimes mother and daughter, sometimes sons, sometimes 2 sisters. They killed whole families. They wiped out whole families over here. For what? Because they had different opinion on something that the Catholic Church dictated. Folks, we are living the 21st century. We've got to get cured and we've got to stop the prejudice. We've got to stop the discrimination on basis of ideas. We've got to consider what people do and how they live their life and how they raise their children and how they contribute to the community. This is where the gospel meets the road. This is where we are, going to be an example and a blessing and disciples of Yeshua in such a way that we can change the world, folks.
Amen.
We can change the world.
Amen.
We've got to start now.
We have arrived at the city of Tamar, one of the ancient centers of the Jewish community where the Jews were also thoroughly persecuted.
Once I read in a Jewish newsletter that there were still Jews in Portugal, in Guarda, Pinhel, Villanova de Foscoa and Beira. Since I read this, I could not sleep. I was on fire. And I came here to Portugal and I tried to approach the Jews, and I was surprised that they were so scared. When I just mentioned Judea, they were scared. And I realized that how much suffering is behind them for generations. And the Lord told me that that dignity must be restored. I will bring you out of your grave, O my people. Baruch atah Adonai mechaye ametim. And this I apply in my mind to these people, because I know that from these bones, these dry bones, God can raise up a mighty people, and He is going to do it. And I believe that the fact we are here now is just a starting point for that. And we will blow the shofar in every places where the Jews have been living, because we believe in the redemption, the Geulah. We believe that God is going to raise up His people and to challenge the world with this.
Agora vocês irão comigo conhecer a antiga sinagoga de Tomar, uma das mais antigas de Portugal. E vocês vão ver lá ainda como é vivo o judaísmo.
Walking through the old Judea, the street of the Jews, toward the synagogue that has been laid silent for more than 500 years, and only recently a few Jewish people who are reclaiming their Jewish identity and heritage have rebuilt and restored the synagogue. We're going inside to pray.
I grew up in Jerusalem. I live near Jerusalem, in a suburb of Jerusalem. And the reason we came here is this. We want to tell the state of Israel to accept the Marano Jews back home.
You must take care with that word. It's not Maran. Maran is Spanish. It's pejorative. He speaks.
That's right.
In Portuguese it's not Maran. But Maran. And Campo Milo.
Okay.
Mareai. Just to the eye.
Yes. כל הכבוד. עכשיו אנחנו נגיד פה תפילות מהסידור בשביל שבת. מה טובו עליך יעקב, משכנותיך ישראל, משכנותיך ישראל, אתה גיבור לעולם.
These ancient Hebrew prayers have not been heard in the synagogue for hundreds of years. And now here we are, Jews that believe that Yeshua is the Messiah, praying in this ancient synagogue in the Hebrew language.
We just prayed the 18 benedictions. It's very touching because in these 18 benedictions, every Jew prays for the restoration of our souls, for the restoration of Israel. And when we are here in a synagogue that there were Jews here 550, 600, 700 years ago praying in this building, in this synagogue. And the Inquisition was stalking every Jew. They were tearing him apart, and they would find that a Jew that believes in Yeshua was praying a Jewish prayer or eating kosher food. He would go to court, they would tear his body to pieces, they would cut him up, they would kill his family, they would get his wife, his children to rat about him. And it was a horrible horror that the Catholic Church produced here. And here we are now, 2,000 years after we were kicked out of Jerusalem. We are here with these brothers and sisters that for years have lived as Catholics, hiding their Jewish identity. And we are calling the Anusim, we are calling the Anusim to come back home to their Jewish roots, to Israel. We're calling the Anusim not to reject Yeshua, who is the most important Jew in history, not to reject Yeshua as a Messiah, not to reject him as the Son of God, but to reject the anti-Semitism of Christianity and to be restored to these prayers. We prayed for God to restore the Tzemach David, the platform of David, the Mashiach of Israel. We want to believe, not to reject the Mashiach of Israel, not to reject the Mashiach of the world, but to reject the Christianity that is anti-Semitic and that has produced such a scar in the Jewish soul, in the Jewish heart, such a scar, such a deep sorrow that is preventing the Jewish people from accepting their own Messiah, preventing the